guys, today's video is going to be SP based again. It seems like a lot of new viewers and my subscribers, you guys really enjoy this topic. It's one of the most popular manifestations, one of the most important manifestations to people, to everyone. It makes sense. So I thought I would make a few more videos and content about this. And this is a topic I haven't really touched upon. There's actually a lot of like very niche specific areas and elements that I haven't talked about yet, or maybe not in depth yet and done a full video on it. So if you have any other areas that I haven't done yet, please don't suggest something I've already done. But if there's something you know that I haven't done and you would like me to speak about it, please leave a comment below and I will add it to my list. I'll do my best to talk about it. And yeah, today's video is going to be all about how to handle your SP in the 3D. So directly, you know, they've come back, they're starting to conform, or spontaneously you've had a conversation with them, they reached out, whatever the case may be, that contact with them directly and how you should be handling it. So even if you're already in a relationship and you're just trying to manifest it to be better, this is still potentially beneficial advice on how to handle it when you're trying to get a specific result from them. So please do thumbs up, subscribe, turn on the notification bell if you enjoy this content. You want me to do more SP videos, I'd gladly do so. And I'd love for you guys to join the community, the channel, become one of my subscribers. It would mean a lot to me. I'm very, very close to 3,000 subscribers, which is amazing. I'm so happy with that progress. And yeah, I also offer one-on-one coaching if you would like some help with that. All the information of how the coaching works, the prices, and all the information is on my Instagram page, LOA Coaching, and there is my email address for you to reach out to me as well. So take a look if you would like to get coaching with me, and let's get started. So this is a topic that I have often discussed with clients in depth, and it's something that does come up where either, you know, I try and guide the client to, all my clients really, to handle it in a positive way, in a balanced way. That's really important. But at the same time, if you do spiral or say the wrong thing or, you know, freak out in the 3D, that's also okay. You can get out of it. But generally speaking, I do advise my clients to handle things a certain way. And yeah, it's kind of similar to what I'll be telling you guys today. Essentially, you just want to remain calm. The point is to be calm and think and act from the new story as best as you can. So I'm going to give you some points of advice. First one is to verbally and mentally remain calm. And what I mean by that, that might be a weird way to phrase it, is that the way you speak to your SP and the way your mental reactions, the way you are thinking for yourself, the thoughts, your inner thoughts, should be calm. Try not to panic or spiral or start creating questions and problems where there aren't any. Is he going to reply? Is she going to respond to this? Is she going to agree? You know, what if they don't put any emojis like they always used to? Why haven't they said this? Don't panic. You are the creator. You decide. So if you say, oh, they're just so nervous to talk to me because I'm the love of their life that, you know, they're talking in a different way. Just create an assumption and guess what? It has to become true. That has to be the reason. You decide. Nothing else is relevant. Even if they tell you, oh, can't you tell from my tone of voice I don't want to talk to you? You ignore it. No, you say, they're only saying that because they're so in love with me and they're scared of messing things up. Just create something positive that aligns with your desired outcome, which is most probably that they are in love with you and they are committed to you. That's usually what people want with an SP. So yeah, just create a story during the conversation, during the contact you have with your SP that is in your favor. No matter what they say, how it turns out, how they act, you turn it around to be in your favor. So verbally with them when you're speaking directly to them, and in your own mind when you're speaking to yourself in your thoughts, you want to remain as calm as you possibly can. Another important element that I've applied myself, and I think it's so important when you're coming from a low point or a negative point, is to stay on top of your mental diet. If you need to zone out of the conversation for a couple seconds and say, he loves me, he loves me, he loves me, or you know, she is obsessed with me, she can't wait to see me, whatever it is you want to say or do, get back into that mental diet. If you get disappointed, panicked, if you see or hear something from them that you really don't like that's showing the opposite of what you want, you revise it. You go into your mental diet and you say, she loves me. Even if they say, I don't want to talk to you, stop messaging me, you revise it and say, you know, they just said how much they want to see me. They just said how much they want to see me. They just said how much they want to see me. And then you ignore it, you delete the message or whatever, but you stay on top of your mental diet. Even as you're communicating with them, you can take a couple minutes. If you're texting your SP, take a couple minutes and don't reply. Don't send the next response. Go and do your mental diet, loop your affirmations to prevent the spiraling. And as I already mentioned, you want to tell yourself positive assumptions. Whatever it is, it can literally just be flipping what you heard from your SP, or, you know, the disappointment you felt, if it was going negatively, and turn it into a positive assumption. Whatever it is, you don't have to believe it, you just have to say it to yourself. So if the conversation is going well, if you're having a great conversation, you can see that your SP is starting to conform, they're telling you amazing positive things that you would like to hear from them, they ask you on a date, they say they miss you, whatever the case may be, still tell yourself those positive assumptions. Say, this is evidence that they love me, this is proof that they're committing to me, this proves to me without a doubt that there is no 3P, and there never has been a 3P. Whatever you need to tell yourself, whatever positive assumption you can possibly apply to the conversation, do so. So if you are having a conversation with your SP, whether it's text, phone, face-to-face, whatever, I'm going to do a part 2 video of this talking about specifically spending time with your SP. So today's going to be more so based on just having that one conversation where you're in contact with the SP. That's going to be my focus today. But yeah, if you are panicking or upset because the communication isn't how you want it to be, but go very vague and brief. I've written down here a few phrases that you might want to say, literally just one word. Don't question, but why? But don't you remember we were together for 3 years, but oh, blah, 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 you always hurt me. No, no, you don't do that in the 3D. That is very different to having a heart-to-heart. If you need to sit down and verbally resolve and go through problems, you want to speak to them and say, you know, you really hurt me when you did this or didn't do that. That's completely different to you panicking in the moment and trying to desperately cling on to something. If you're in a state of desperation and panic, that is not the time to start trying to verbalize your feelings and try and get them to apologize, or you don't force anything, you don't go into that state. So it's very different to having a verbal conversation, which you can do. You can absolutely talk through problems. You can go to therapy with your SP. You can do all these things. But if you're coming from a state of panic and desperation and you're trying to hold on to them and you've got them on this pedestal, that is absolutely the wrong time to try and open the floodgates, shall we say. So a couple of phrases I wrote down of things you can say if your SP is just being an arse, let's say, and they're just being horrible or not telling you what you want. They say, I'm with the 3P. Okay, cool, I understand. One of those type of phrases, very vague, very brief, very neutral. You don't want to go off on them and start cussing them out. You also don't want to beg them for a second chance or, you know, act desperate. That is not going to give you what you want. Even if they say, I'm so sorry, I didn't realize you were hurting so much. Even if they say that, that is still not giving you the result you want. They can say that and then go back to ghosting you for weeks on end. Or, you know, they could tell you what you want to hear, but still not prove to you that they love you or want to commit to you. So don't try and get a verbal response from them just to calm yourself down. They will say it in the right time as your manifestation unfolds. So it's just a point to note that if you're coming from a really desperate state, as harsh as it sounds, like you're just not going to get the end result you want by trying to force a conversation. So try and go quite vague and neutral. And this is a good habit to learn as well. It helps you, I don't know, it's just a good habit to learn. Like if you're not hearing what you want, to just ignore it and say, okay, whatever, cool, thanks for letting me know, bye. Like just anything you want like that. I've used those kind of phrases all the time. It's usually just not even worth arguing or getting upset. End the conversation there, or just give them one-word responses. Don't engage emotionally because of a bad mental reaction that you had. As I just mentioned, if it is a negative conversation, and this is usually, if the SP conversation is going really well, then you probably won't really need most of this advice. But if it's going badly, or you're panicking, or you're stressed and anxious, and they're being, you know, a bit non-committal, that anything along those lines, I think all of these points are really useful. So end a negative conversation early. If it's not going well, if you started arguing, if they're being rude, or they're just telling you the opposite of what you want, end the conversation. You're not obligated. Don't think, oh, but if we text another hour, surely he will change his mind. Surely he'll soften up and tell me XYZ. Don't do this. No, I know it's so easy to fall into that trap and try and change things around. But as we all know, you're the creator of your reality, and it's your thoughts that change your reality. Not going out and typing out a 50-paragraph message to your SP, you know, trying to get a second chance with them. That's not how it works. That's not how your manifestation unfolds. So if it's not going well, just end the conversation. Say, I have to go now, bye. You don't owe them an explanation. You don't have to tell them, I'm so sorry, you really hurt me, I don't want to talk anymore. You don't have to. If you want to say that, go for it. Like, no one's going to control you or stop you. But I'd recommend doing something more vague, so you're ending it on a very neutral point. So, oh, I have some things I need to go do now, talk to you later, bye. It can be just anything vague that just ends the conversation, you know? And also, you don't owe them a response. If you're really upset and hurt, or they're being really rude, you don't owe them anything. You can just close the conversation and focus on something else. Go meet your friends, go watch a movie. You don't owe them a response if you don't want to give one. A few final points is to delete an old message. Delete the message that, you know, they just sent you where they said, I'm with a 3P. I don't know, I think on WhatsApp you can do this. I'm not sure if, I don't know about other social media, but generally speaking, on some platforms, I know on Snapchat the messages will just disappear eventually, but if you're able to delete a negative message, I highly recommend it, especially if you're going to be tempted to go back to it the next day and reread the whole conversation. I'd probably recommend deleting it. So delete the negative stuff, which is kind of like helping you mentally erase it, and then revise it. Erase it from your mind, revise it and say, no, she told me she is single and waiting for me. She never mentioned a 3P, she told me she's single. Revise it verbally, delete the messages, delete the memory of it. You know, you don't owe the negative conversation anything. And final point, which I think I've already touched upon, but that is to not try and look for specific answers. Don't ask questions. Don't ask your SP specific questions like, so are you seeing anyone? And hope and pray and cross your fingers, oh, he's going to tell me he's single. He's going to tell me he broke up with a 3P. You know, don't ask those questions. You may not want to hear the answer. If they're not fully conformed, they may still be with a 3P. They may tell you, yes, I'm dating, or yes, I'm on dating apps. They might tell you something that you don't want to hear. So do not ask those kind of leading questions, especially if you're if it's natural and you're happy and confident and you can ask those, then great. But if you're only only asking the question because you're looking for a certain result, or you're hoping that they tell you what you want to hear, don't do it. Trust me, you're going to have to revise it. You're going to be in a spiraling state of mind. You know, you're just not going, it's not going to work out the way you want. And why take that 50-50 chance? Like, just keep the conversation very light and neutral at first. If you're not confident, if you're not sure, you know, if you're not ready to do a mental diet and revision, then just don't ask the question. So yeah, that's all my advice. Everything I'd recommend you consider and try out. It doesn't have to be every single thing, but if things aren't going in your favor and you're upset by a conversation and your SP is not telling you what you want to hear, why continue it? Why engage with it? You know, that's my opinion, that's my advice. So I hope this was useful and helped you guys potentially deal with any upcoming or current situations. And do thumbs up, subscribe, turn on the notification bell if you enjoyed, if you'd like more SP content, and I'll see you next time. Bye.